Hello students. At the time of recording this video, which is Friday afternoon, 14th of July, I have actually looked through all the ideation documents that you have done for your Sec 1 Maths PT. And some of you, of course, the document not done. And those who have done, actually every one of your documents, I add some comments. So please take a look at those comments. But after looking through, I realized that quite many of you are still quite vague about what you're supposed to do. So I got a bit worried. I'm not too sure about you. I hope you can actually come up with some really good projects. So I'm making this video again to once again make it very clear to you what you're supposed to do. Although all the instructions are there, all the details are in your instruction document. I hope you have read it thoroughly. But I spent a bit of time this morning to draw out this little diagram for you. This morning I only managed to have lessons with one of my classes. I know there are three classes that I teach, so I'm going to share this video with all three classes, but one class I've actually already seen this diagram. But right, no harm listening to it again. So what's happening is this, right? So this is actually how your entire project flows. The first thing you did last week was to work on the individual task one. So if you look at the top left hand corner of this picture, you see individual task one. You can see my cursor right here. Okay, the purpose of this individual task one really is to learn how to analyze data chart. So I gave you a bar chart, you're supposed to analyze it. So analyzing chart has two parts. First is to describe what you see, and then after that to give your explanation and interpretation of why the chart is like this. Now this step is important because learning how to do this allow you to repeat that in your actual project itself. Later you will see. So that's the first thing you did, right? So after that, it is the group task one, which is what you're supposed to do this week, and it's Friday already. So I hope you can actually work on it. Hopefully find time to meet up with your teammate over the weekends and see if you can come up with something, right? So what are the things you're supposed to do? You're supposed to actually confirm the group topic. Then after that, ask question related to your school students, right? So you can ask, what are my fellow students' thoughts on this? Are they aware of this, or are they practicing saving the environment by not wasting food or something like that, not wasting plastic bags? So things that you want to ask, right? You want to ask over here to find out things that you want to find out. So that's actually the second stage. Then after that, you need to prepare the survey. Now, based on the instructions, right, the survey, you need to have 4 questions which can be made into bar or pie chart, which means you should be looking at least 4 quantitative results. Quantitative means you collect data either by multiple choice or checklist, which you can actually count and tabulate and make them into a table, and then after that from there you can create your pie chart or your bar chart. If all your questions are qualitative, that means you are asking them for their feedback and then you give them a space where they can actually type in their response. Then if every student type in their response, it takes, I have no idea how at this stage of your preparation and your understanding of survey can you actually manage to obtain enough information to put them in the charts. So it is possible, and yes, you should also ask for some opinions from the people you're surveying, allowing them to actually type their responses. However, you need to have 4 questions that can be made into either bar chart or pie chart, right? So my recommendation is 2 bar charts or 2 pie charts, or you can do 3 bar chart and 1 pie chart, okay? Or even 3 pie chart and 1 bar chart. But you need to have 1 bar chart and 1 pie chart minimally, and the other 2 can either be a bar chart, pie chart, or even a line chart, depending on the type of questions you have, right? So you need to have 4 of them. And you can actually have other questions, right? 2 to 6 questions of any other types, asking people to key in their opinion. This allow you to actually think a little bit more and actually to make your report and to make your conclusions, right? So now from here you can see my arrow are the 4 questions that you are going to collect the quantitative, you are supposed to make them into charts, right? Bar chart, pie chart, or line chart. Then after that, you're supposed to analyze this using the technique that you have learned from individual task 1, which means you will do what you did for individual task 1 4 more times, right? You're supposed to do that in your final report. That's your group task 2. Then from the information that you did after you analyze them, you put it together with some of your thoughts from the other questions that you asked in your survey to make your conclusions and recommendation. And your conclusion and recommendation should tie in with the original intention, what you're supposed to find out, right, about your school community. So this is what you did, and that will be your final report. Okay, so in the middle of this entire project, there's a midpoint check, there's your individual task 2, and finally reflections, and that's your individual task 3. So with this understanding that your final report, which is your group task 2, you need to have analysis of 4 charts and your conclusion and recommendation, then you know what you need to prepare for your survey. Your survey needs to have 4 questions which is suitable to be made into charts, and then you have other questions on top of that. So my recommendation is you could prepare up to 10 questions, even 12 questions, 15 questions, and out of these 10 to 15 questions, you have 4 of them which can be made into bar chart or pie chart. So think very carefully, and of course try to avoid questions that's either yes or no. I mean, if it's just a question that gives you yes or no, it will not make very good charts for you to analyze. So it means that your final score, the quality of your report will be diminished. So try to really discuss with your group mates and think of really good suitable questions, and that is what one of the skills that we are trying to assess you for this performance task, right? Your ability to ask good questions. Sometimes in school, we come with the mindset that we are always learning how to answer question, to find the answer. But the skills to actually learn how to ask good question is also very important. I would say even more important. And we hope that all the students here can, after going through this project, at least start to learn and prepare yourself to be able to ask good questions, right? So rethink again your project, look at your survey again. Okay, so hopefully by next week when you come back from the weekend, I can actually see you have a much improved the document, the ideation document, as well as your survey form. So these are the 2 things I need to see after when we come back next week. All right, so please do your best on this project. All the best, and see you after the weekend. All right, okay, have a nice day.